What's up, fellow pilots? It's Caleb here from Air 101, and today we're going to be talking about how to properly insure your agricultural aircraft. Whether you're a flying farmer or you're doing 702 aerial operations, which include agricultural work, then this video is perfect for you. Today we're going to be talking the basics that you should know about when buying agricultural insurance and some of the most important things you should look out for to make sure that you're properly covered. Number one, make sure that you buy all risk flight and ground coverage. This is the best coverage that you can buy for your agricultural aircraft. It covers physical damage for the aircraft itself as well as third-party liability. Of course, in almost all agricultural machines, you don't have two seats, so in most cases, you usually only need third-party liability. But if you have a machine that has one extra seat in it, and you plan on taking the aircraft up and flying for fun and bringing a passenger, then make sure that you have passenger coverage as well. Number two, drift coverage. You will want this type of coverage if you sprayed a field, and while you were spraying that field, some of it drifted into another field and caused damage. Now remember, in Canada, certain provinces require an individual to have certain drift limits. So it's very important that you become familiar with each province and what they require you to have for drift coverage so that you remain legal while doing this type of work. Number three, misapplication coverage. When buying a policy, many people would believe that this coverage is actually included when they buy drift coverage. But be aware that most of the time this coverage is excluded unless you specifically request it. This coverage is very important for many reasons. For instance, if you spray a field with the wrong chemical and you destroy the crops, then most likely this type of coverage would kick in and help protect you in this type of a loss. Please note that most aviation insurance companies usually charge extra premium to add this type of coverage to your agricultural aircraft insurance policy. Number four, higher third-party liability limits as well as drift coverage for certain jobs that you want to do. Most of the time, operators are unable to afford higher liability limits that they require for certain jobs that they want to do that are for like only 1 or 2 months of the year. So what a solution is for this is you can possibly carry a third-party liability limit of $2 million. And then when you end up having a job that requires you to, let's say, need a 10 million third-party liability limit, then you can actually just get it bumped up for that certain job to meet their requirements. You can do this by talking to your aviation insurance broker, and they're going to ask you a couple questions. They're going to ask you how many hours you're going to be flying for this job, how long is the job going to take, and roughly what is the location of the job. Then the aviation insurance company is going to calculate a rate to charge you based on this information. In most cases, this will be cheaper than having 10 million third-party liability all year round. Obviously, as an aviation insurance broker, we have to recommend that you have the highest liability limit that you can afford. But this is just a solution to help you save a little bit of money until you can actually one day afford the higher liability limits for the entire year. These are the four main things you should know when purchasing an agricultural aircraft insurance policy. So to break it down one last time, you should have all risk flight and ground coverage as well as drift coverage, including misapplication. I really hope that you learned something today. Have fun flying your agricultural aircraft. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.